Alright, hey everyone, it's Ethan here. I have been playing a lot of ranked this week, and I've been solo queuing through all of it actually, and I've just hit Diamond. So what I thought I'd do is basically show you how I got there, i.e. how I was playing during these ranked matches. And here we go, let's go for it. So, you can see here, I am playing as Pathfinder. I was playing as either Pathfinder, Wraith, or Watson. I've started playing towards the end of this as well. Now, my teammates wanted to drop Cage, but obviously hot drop on Cage is not a good idea on Ranked. What you need to be doing on this is making sure that you don't lose all those points by having a really bad random generation at the start, by dropping on another team and not being able to pick up a weapon. So what I decided to do was suggest somewhere else instead, and you can see where we've dropped a little bit more out the way, and we're able to get ourselves some weapons. That's what we're aiming for to begin with, a weapon and then body shield. But the weapon first, just in case there are people around. And what I'm doing here is I'm just having a little listen out to see whether there is anybody else around. I'm making sure to pay attention in case my teammates are pinging anything as well, because that's what we need to react to first, basically. And speaking of guns here that I'm going for, you saw I just dropped the L-Star for the R99. Now, you might think that's a little bit of a silly idea because obviously we've got a Scout already, so 2 light weapons isn't usually what we go for. However, I'm not expecting to get into a fight anytime soon now. I've noticed that the teammates haven't pinged anybody. I can't hear any enemy teams around either. So I've got enough time to be able to find more attachments, and I already have the purple extended on the Scout as well. And it's more just a case of I'm more comfortable with the R99 than the L-Star. The R99 is obviously a more endgame weapon. So on the weapon choices here as well, I've tried to make sure that I've always got a poking weapon at least. So in this case, obviously the Scout is really good for that. And then we also make sure that we have a weapon that can really pull its weight in close range, something that can kill somebody in one clip basically, and quite easily. And that is going to be the R99 that I have as my secondary there. So this loadout is actually perfect for this match, and it's what we're going to carry on going for. Other things that I might go for is I could have had a Prowler instead of the R99. And then also, if instead of the Scout I had a Hemlock, then I could have maybe a Flatline or an R99 as my secondary for that as well. So I always used to try and make sure that I've got either the Scout or the Hemlock as one of those weapons there, and then obviously a decent secondary that can back it up well. So at the moment, it's going nice and easy. We haven't landed on a team, and that's why it's so important sometimes. I made sure at the start to have a little look around to see whether there were any more teams. Obviously, you saw there my teammate did want to ping Cage and wanted to go there, but fortunately the Jumpmaster listened to my ping instead, and we ended up over here. Another reason I picked Repulsor is because obviously of the survey beacon. Now, I'm playing Pathfinder in this one, but a lot of the things that I'm doing in this match are going to actually be usable with any real legend. And all the way through this as well, what I'm doing is I'm keeping a little eye up in that top right to see how many squads are left as well. And you can see this match is actually going quite slowly. We've still got 16 left at the moment. So I found out where the next circle is going to be, and that's where we're going to be wanting to head to eventually. So for the moment, we seem relatively safe, so we're going to carry on with our team. We've got to make sure that we stick near them, but fortunately they want to go the same way that I do, especially after now we've seen where that ring is going to be. I'm taking the underside here, just in case there is anybody that comes up behind me back in Repulsor and can basically shoot me from the top there. They won't be able to do that if I'm underneath, and there we go, we get a 3x Ranger. So when I was on about those guns being able to poke, obviously I mentioned both the Scout and the Hemlock. Now, the sights that you're going to want in them are either the 3x Ranger or the 2 to 4x sight. They are both perfect. What I had been doing in a lot of these matches as well was picking up an Evo shield. Because there's 16 squads left though at the moment, and it doesn't look like we're going to get into a fight anytime soon, I'm actually keeping this blue one. I did pass an Evo shield a little bit earlier on, but there's no point grabbing one if you don't feel like you're going to be able to level it up before it's too late, basically. I'm thinking now, with kind of how this is going, we're getting into the next circle. I feel like if we push a team, it's not going to be one where I can easily take some pot shots off for the moment. So you can see here, obviously, because I've got 2 light weapons, I am making sure to pick up plenty of light ammo. And obviously, I'll ping out the heavy extended mag for my teammate as well, because it's a purple one, it's quite rare. So what I did with this match was I picked one that was a very average match, basically. Obviously, I had matches that started a bit better. I had matches where we ended up fighting a team right at the start and get some points that way, and then advancing through to win as well. I had some higher kill games than this, higher damage games than this, etc, etc. But what I wanted to do was pick one that was really in the middle of the ballpark. because I didn't think that there was any point in picking what is the perfect match, like the one that you get every so often, where your teammates are just really, really good and you're working well together and everything. Because at the end of the day, this is to show you how to level up with randoms rather than squadding up. I mean, if I showed you the video where I ended up, with 2 squad mates that should be predators, then there's not really much point to it. So instead, we've got this one that is obviously it is a good game. But it's not a good game because of my mechanical play. I don't even think my shooting is that amazing in this one. I certainly had matches where my shooting was really popping off, and that was sometimes the reason that we won, was just purely because I was nailing every shot. This match isn't like that. This match we win mainly due to a good drop, mainly because we didn't drop cage, obviously, and good rotations as well. You can see here we're rotating around into swamp, and finally we've had somebody actually be in one of these buildings. And there you go, we pick up the second purple mag as well, so our guns are both absolutely sorted here, even though they're both light. So this is the first time that we've actually come into any kind of real contact whatsoever, which is just a case of some people have actually been here, so we've got to be a little bit more careful now. I have been running around a little bit blasé at the moment, but now that I know that there's people around, I'm definitely going to be a fair bit more careful. And the crypto's ping the server beacon. Obviously, I've already used one. However, I can go and use that one once the ring has come in. So what we might do here is actually just set ourselves up in this position. And you can see there that there is somebody being spawned in. We could try and go and push them. So the Wraith wanted to go do it. I believe she pinged it out. And I'm going to go check it out myself as well as Pathfinder. Now, they've been spawned in just over there somewhere, so the Wraith is putting an attacking portal in here. Now, I've been playing Wraith a lot, but she was already picked, so I'll switch to Pathfinder instead. And while she's putting that portal down, I'm just watching over, and luckily I see the enemies as well. So I'm going to get a zipline up onto the roof. The Wraith can take the portal back and then take my zipline as well. So that's why Wraith and Pathfinder are both very important legends on this. So the first thing we're going to do is pop a thermite down when we feel like there is somebody there, and I believe I changed my mind actually and end up putting it down there when we actually see an enemy. So it's no good me just lobbing it into that building with no real rhyme or reason. And we're just going to finish the kill here as well, or at least try to, in order to make sure that they can't get the res off. But that Corsair's actually in a really bad spot there anyway. He's not going to get revived anytime soon, so we're going to peek through the window here where the team are in the building. And I see that. I was just waiting to line up my shot. I did not want to miss them pointlessly. And there we go. We finished that one off. Now, there's another team still in there. I'll try to help finish that one off, but it was a purple knockdown shield. So my job now on top of the building is to have a look around and keep my eye out. I finish off that kill, make sure they don't get the res off sneakily. So I'm just watching over my teammates here because they're healing up. And I'm just looking out as well, of course. I will obviously try and get that body shield. But I'm just looking out to see whether there are any other teammates around. It seems as though they may have ditched that caustic, though. You can see here. Now that I've checked it out and realised that they've probably ran away, it gives me that time to go and get the body shield. Obviously, my teammates are healed up as well, and there's a couple of shield patches there. Look at that light ammo, so much. Don't necessarily need that much light ammo, but obviously with the 2 guns that we've got, we do need quite a bit. I would probably take some grenades. Now that I've played a little bit more, I would probably take some grenades at this point. But obviously, back on this, I hadn't been playing rank too long at that point, but still in Plat 2 at the moment on this one. Like I say, it was just a good, nice, average match to use for this kind of video. So, overall, in that fight, we mainly won that because we had that high ground advantage. And that was a case of, first of all, the Wraith using her portal to advance meant that she could retreat really easily. And I hear people on my left here, which is why I use a zipline to get away straight away. And this is one of the importance of playing Pathfinder. Now, if I was playing a different legend, if I was playing Wraith or Watson, I would have made sure to be sticking closer to my teammates there. But me playing Pathfinder, I know that I've got that little bit of leeway. And I can escape, which is obviously what we did there. So what we need to do here is we're taking a better angle behind some cover, getting ourselves healed up before we try and actually defend. And what we want to do is take this high ground up here. You can see my teammates are already there. I'm just making sure I've got another angle in case they try coming up those stairs. But now that we realise that they aren't going to be coming up, I can go and join my teammates instead. So, obviously, Watson Trap's there. Just going to let the team know, perhaps, that there's people been there, but I feel like they've already seen them. So what we want to do, bearing in mind where that ring is, I know that we've got a survey beacon across there as well, but we want to be getting that high ground. So I'm trying to suggest to my teammates, I haven't got a zip line at the moment, I just use it to escape. But I'm just highlighting there that we can use the jump tower to get onto that high ground, which is exactly where we want to be. Now, obviously, we don't have a Watson, which is what we'd really like in this kind of scenario. And I've been playing Watson a lot recently, especially getting into Diamond. I've been playing her way more than I ever have done before. And she is very, very useful for times like this, setting up on buildings like this. But at least we can still get ourselves on that high ground. And we do have a crypto that can sometimes help stop people from pushing us as well. But it just means that we've got to be a little bit more careful. We don't have those Watson fences to basically push teams away. So, again, I'm looking at the top right here. You can see a kill and an assist, and there's still only 9 squads left at the moment. But we're on -2 points, so this is obviously how I've been playing these Platinum matches mainly, is just trying not to lose points. Once I get to that 0 mark, it's then just trying to increase that advantage a little bit. So we are going to take a few shots at these guys. Now, sometimes it seems a little pointless to do this, a waste of bullets perhaps, but it's quite important because it's lowering their shields for the future fights. Now, you want those teams to die, basically, in the long run of things, and we do actually manage to get a knockdown there as well, so my shooting's not too bad on that front. But even if we didn't get the knockdown there, it's not entirely wasted, because we want those teams to die anyway, so the most that we can do to weaken some teams, even if other teams end up killing them, it gives us those points when there's less squads left in the long run. And what it also does as well is, even if they manage to get away and escape and probably defeat the team that they're fighting, we've broken some of their shields, we're making them use their resources, which is just so important. What it means is when we get down to those final circles, they don't have the resources and we do. So what the Wraith is doing here that's absolutely why you should have a Wraith in your team is, first of all, we've got the high ground. She can use a portal to go and grab the care package and then just portal herself straight back up here, like no problem whatsoever. It's barely even a risk. Even if somebody was to shoot her as soon as she went through the portal, she can just use her tactical ability and just get back up here anyway, and we can lay down enough cover to make sure that nobody comes after her. So this is why I'm thinking, obviously, Wraith, Pathfinder, and Watson is a fantastic combination. Now, just like the Wraith used her portal there, I'm going to use a zipline to do basically the same thing. It's very little risk to me. I made sure that there's no teams fighting too close to me, so I'm able to grab this survey beacon, and this is obviously important, so that we know where the next ring is going to be, and we can set ourselves up where we need to. Now, it looks as though it's going to be near the middle section, so we're going to want to set up on that charge tower just there. But for now, we're going to hold this ground. There's only 6 squads left now. So that fight where we shot a few bullets into actually did some work there as well. Now, obviously, I knocked down a player, but I didn't get the kill for that. So that means that they did get respawned. But at least we have broken down their shields, made them use those resources. And I'm not sure what the crypto is pinging here. I think he was trying to ping the banner, but for some reason was pinging enemies instead. So we're just going to keep this high ground for the moment, but we know where we need to go for the, not even, you know, the next ring, but the ring afterwards. But for now, this spot is so good on this high ground. There's no point in us going to that charge tower now. We may as well wait until I've got my zipline back, so we've got a nice easy passage to there. And we've got this high ground, so we may as well keep it and get some shots up and weaken those teams still. And this is why having a scout or a hemlock is so important. Because if you see there, I mean, that was, you know, just over 100 damage on that one. They're going to now have to use either a shield battery on or 4 shield cells, something like that. And we even sometimes manage to get it down as well. There you go. I had to just steady my shot on that one there. So they're probably going to get this res. I'm trying to quickly kill him, but he's got a gold knockdown, so they're probably going to get the revive as soon as he gets around that corner. There's no point. Now, on pubs, you'd be very tempted in this thing to run along those pipes and go down and try and kill him. But there is just no point in ranks at all. We have such a good position that it would be an absolute waste to get down there and try and actually get that kill. One point like that is not as important as the points that we may pick up later on. I mean, I say 1 point, but 10 points. So I've got my zipline ready now. You can see I've not actually used my shields at the moment. I do need to heal up, so I'm going to do that, but I'm going to use cells, obviously, instead of a battery as well. We don't have too many cells left, so I need to be a little bit careful when we're poking teams, making sure I don't get shot too much. But I didn't take too much damage. It was like about, what was that, 25? That was about 45 health maybe that I'd lost during that, or 45 shields. which is obviously not too bad. So I'm going to get this zip line onto the centre bit. We need to take that centre bit near enough now. But the Wraith there is in trouble, so I'm going to have to come and try and help out. And not amazing shooting by me there. But luckily the Crypto got his drone on as well, which is going to weaken them significantly. And I don't want to jump down here, but I've got to go help the Wraith. I've just got to do it. And good shooting there. That Wraith's almost dead, but I see the other one coming around the left-hand side, so I've got to go support, and it is a Crypto. I'm glad that we did support. He did get the kill, but I might be able to get the res off here as well. And I just looked at the Crypto drone there. They scanned somebody in the distance. I've got time for the res. That is why the Crypto can be handy sometimes. And there's the Wraith that we injured earlier. I feel as though she has managed to get her shields up, but we're going to try and get the high ground here. Absolutely mess that one up. But it's not too bad. We're still in an okay position. We need to try and get a battery off as quickly as possible. There is a Wraith that's going to be portaling. Here she is. She cannot shoot me due to her portal. So normally there I would have cancelled the shield battery. But obviously, just going to let this finish out here. We chased the Wraith through the portal. We knew how weak she was. I knew that she didn't have any shields. So normally there I would have cancelled my shield battery, but I saw that the Wraith was doing her ultimate. I know she can't shoot me, so I may as well get my battery going basically and make sure that we're strong enough to be able to push those fights, which we were in the end. And now we've got plenty of shields, including gold one as well. I know that I've got a bit of time to loot. I know that there's no teams coming over here as well because of the Crypto drone. So I ping out the Evo shield, obviously, to my teammates. That's going to be more useful for them, as well as taking a digital threat as well, in case there are any Bangalores or Caustics near the last few teams. Now, there's only 3 squads remaining. We're doing well for points here. We got 3 kills, 2 assists, and you can see we're on plus 100 already. And I think you'll notice there that the fights that we've gotten into have not been particularly hard. I don't think that I've played particularly well. They're very average fights to me. Sometimes there's matches where we only win them because, you know, my aim is perfect and everything like that. But those fights, we won purely because of good positioning, more than anything. And it's about having that high ground first. The Wraith kind of drew them in at the bottom there, and that ended up actually working out for us. Although I would have sooner the Wraith kept that high ground. You see here, obviously just going to make sure that we pop that Caustic. That was the same one from earlier that got rezzed, I believe. But the Wraith actually drew them in, and we managed to get some good enough shots, and we came and supported at the right time. I think that they pushed in a little bit too much on the Wraith, thinking that she was on her own, and probably wasn't expecting the drop in from the top. And then they were also, of course, weakened by the Crypto drone as well. So all of those things being important there. But mainly, if a teammate has messed up a little bit and maybe dropped down into a place they shouldn't do, you still need to go and support them sometimes. There is occasions where they are a lost cause and you need to just keep your high ground. But in that one, I knew that the Crypto had let his drone off. I'd got a couple of shots off already on one of them. I knew it was okay to go and help out. So this team is taking this building here, which is a really good place for them to be because it's probably where the last ring is going to be on. However, we are actually still okay on the top bit here, so we're going to keep it. You see, I've dropped a couple of shield batteries on the floor. They're just spare ones, just in case we need them in the future. But we've got to actually, we're in a weird position here because we have the high ground, which is obviously the advantage. However, we are between both the teams. Now, what we want to do when there's 3 squads left is we want them to fight one another and basically help take each other down, and then we can go in and mop up the mess at the end. But with the position we're in, we're probably going to find ourselves getting shot by both of those teams. So we've just got to be extra careful here, and this is another reason why using a scout or a hemlock is so important as well, because we can do that damage. As you can see here, we actually just managed to knock the Caustic down from distance. Wouldn't have been able to do that if I had a different gun as my secondary. If I had like an R99 and an R301 or something, I don't think I would have got that down there. Now, what I'm actually looking at there as well is that Caustic, I think, is just on really low health because we got him down to flesh before, and then they didn't have any shields. I'm not sure if my teammate shot him, so I know that that team's very weak, which is why I'm actually concentrating on this team instead, because we need to weaken this one. And actually, we need to kind of drain their confidence a little bit, make them a little bit afraid of us. And I'm going to obviously use a shield battery here because we've got, it's 3.5 shields there. I'm going to save the cells because they're going to be easier for me to use when we get into a final fight here, if I'm having to use it during the actual fight. You see that? I actually just got the kill for that Caustic, so they didn't even bother going to try and res him. Which means either they were too afraid to, or he just had too little health. So you see there, 128 damage on the Bangalore. This is the kind of thing we need to be doing, and this is why this high ground infantry is so important. Now, what I was saying here about their position is so good because the final ring is on it. You can see there the final ring is indeed on it. I'm going to put a zipline down, but we're not going to be using that straight away. What we're going to be doing instead is waiting until the end. I'm actually going to wait until I get another zipline. I should get one within a minute. And what I can do then is I can put down another zip line onto the top of that building, and then there's 2 zip lines we can advance on. And we've just got to make sure that we're helping our teammates out here, putting down some covering fire when needs be. The Wraith there, as you can see, is on pretty low health, but she's got enough time to get herself patched up. We still got 50 odd seconds here as well. There is still another squad alive, but I believe it is only 1 on that squad, which is why I'm not fretting about them whatsoever. I don't even think they can get up to us unless they take the zip line that's right next to me, and obviously I'll be able to see that. So I'm actually going to use the charge tower here as well. I wanted my teammates to be on it so that the Crypto could get another ultimate, but it did seem like he wanted to go on there. So we're going to lay down a little bit more covering fire. That one messed up. But I think actually the Crypto downed the Bangalore there. So I decided to rush in here because I know that the Bangalore is down. There we go. That one, 198. They're 2 away from death. So there you go. 9 damage does it. And we're going to get ourselves all shielded up here. We're going to use shield cells because they're a little bit quicker for me to pop off in case I need to quickly cancel. There's only 2 squads left, so this is the last one. And there we go. We get the assist on it, not the finish per se. Now, all of that there, it seemed a little easy. And that's the way that I was hoping it kind of comes across a little bit. Even though I was working with randoms, basically utilizing those pings so much is really, really important. I'm just going to pause it on the stat screen at the end here. So utilizing those pings is so important. I was making sure that my teammates realized what it was that I was wanting to do at each time. So I was making sure to ping the zip lines in certain locations, like when I pinged the jump tower and then I pinged the high ground. And it's all about that, kind of just sticking together as a team and making sure that you're on the same kind of wavelength. Now, obviously, I have had matches where I've had randoms that are just, you know, want to run off on their own in ranked for some reason, whatever reason that is, or just blank out refusing to do the right things and such. But on average, usually teams kind of want to stick together, and I think if you're the one that actually takes that lead and begins pinging places, which is what I've done in so many of my ranked matches, the team will follow. They'll notice that you kind of have an idea about what it is you're wanting to do, and they'll hopefully realize that you are the one that's there leading them in some kind of way, and they'll follow you because of that. So all in all, during that, like, I don't think there was a single point in that match where I felt in real danger. I think there was one point where my teammates had ran ahead just after we had looted up, and I had to use that zip line and grapple to get away. And that was kind of my bad for not being with my teammates completely. However, obviously, wearing a headset, I heard the team coming in, so I did have enough time to escape. And obviously, playing Pathfinder, you're allowed to have that little bit of leeway as well. So this one was relying a little bit on Pathfinder and those zip lines. What I've also got as well is, I think my next video is probably going to be a diamond match where I'm playing as Watson. So obviously we don't have those zip lines, and you'll get to see a little bit more how to play in diamond as well. Again with randoms, as I was queuing up solo for that. But either way, I hope this kind of helped explain really that a lot of the points that you can get from playing in Platinum, and even when you're with your randoms, it's not about pushing those fights too much. It's actually about a lot of positioning, making sure you've got the high ground, making sure you drop somewhere relatively safe, getting yourself geared up before you need to push anybody, knowing when to push people, being aware of your surroundings, being observant, but most importantly, trying to communicate those things to your teammates and using your own abilities to your advantage as well. I actually think that there was multiple points in that match where all of us used our ultimates for the entire team, basically. Obviously my zip lines to get us into certain positions, to get the survey beacons as well, the race to portal down to the care package, etc., as well as that portal that she was using to try and attack, but she managed to actually get back to us in time before she got killed, which was so important. And then obviously there was the crypto drone as well. Like I say, I'd usually rather have a Watson instead of a crypto, but the crypto, I think, in that time really works. The Wraith was getting pushed, he let off the drone whilst I was doing a bit of damage as well. We broke enough shields to get the team to split up a little bit actually and panic, which enabled me to go and help out and rush it. But other than that, if you do want to obviously see that Watson video, it's probably going to be my next one. I got a really good match today actually in Diamond as Watson, so I think I'll do that one as my next video. So if you want to see that, please do subscribe. If you liked this one, then of course leave a like. That really helps me out and makes me feel nice. So other than that, cheers.